I'm King Lynxx. This is my live interview at Uptown Studios. Man, I think I just would have to say, like, in the humblest way, I'm a king. I know that's cliche, but in all aspects, I put my attention on being the best at what I am, having my own kingdom, my own ruling, and literally maximizing all of my resources. So that's why they call me King Lynxx. But I'm the dot connector. I am a creator. I'm a musical artist. I'm an engineer. I'm a sound advocate. And I'm the shit. My story is like a fucking movie. I started off doing music at 7. That was the beginning of my whole everything. Met my first manager when I was 13, started working with him. Signed with the radio station at 14 with a group. But for the long run, just music. Got into engineering about 15 years ago. Coming from Inkster, being one of the only to do a lot of the things I did. I never cussed in my raps till I was about 18, so I had a whole nother outlook on things coming from the streets, being a clean artist.
You know, you never cussed in your raps, right?
Yep.
Very, very morally high for a rapper, right? Where do you think that comes from?
Family. Honestly, man, I start when you young and you rap, and like I started off rapping with management from my actual family. Like my father wrote my first rap, and my mom was like,
How old were you?
I was 7. My first rap, I was 7 years old, and I recorded my first song with Old Boy, my stepbrother's big brother, and Upstairs off a 2-track, and he wrote my second rap. So I had a rap to kind of learn how to rap, and then the first rap that I actually recorded was Old Boy Write My Rap, and then that got formulated into a song. But 10 years old is when I actually recorded my first record, but I was actually rapping the same rap since I was 7, dog. But yeah, man, being so young and like having so many people in your family want you to rap, you not about to rap no cuss words to your grandma, you know what I'm saying? I rap for my whole family. Like, I was a well-known, he's gonna rap kid, you know what I'm saying? So I had that like in and out the schools. So I felt like it was a necessary need to do something clean. Even though I could've, like the whole time, it wasn't like I was forced to rap clean, you know what I'm saying? Like, growing up in Inkster, we still said little slick shit, but I was still like mannerable to my parents and my elders, where I wanted to see how they felt about my career.
You were 10 when you put your first song out.
Mm-hmm.
What happened next?
It was like everything that a rapper could consider locally happened at the same time. Like I did my song. My stepbrother's stepfather took us on in management. I did my first show, which was actually the summer festival, Inkster Summer Festival. That was my first show. So I'm 10 years old, I record my first record, I get my first actual manager, and do my first show all in the same segment. I ended up joining a group. I changed my name to Lynxx at 13.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother story. But I changed my name to Lynxx, and I joined a group called Team CC. Well, Critical Condition is what it stood for. Nobody knew that shit, so we just called it Team CC, used the acronyms. And after that, me and my partners had did a show where they would give you all these segments. You can win shit, you know what I'm saying? They had the radio station doing a lot of shows. We won a show like at a club. We young as hell. We wasn't supposed to be there. My mom went with us. We won, and they gave us a $40,000 promo deal with the radio station. So that was my first, like, all right, you a part of an actual contract. It's paperwork. It's a situation on the line. And we thought it was money. Like, oh shit, we just got paid. We didn't get nothing, you know what I'm saying? But that was the first time I got a taste of the industry.
When did you start helping other people with their dream instead of really focusing on what you were trying to do with yours?
You know what? Nobody never asked me that, but to keep it real, you don't really look up when you working all day, bro. I did, especially with this shit. Like, I'm all day, every day, so I looked up like, damn. You know, you don't know how many people you touch or how many people you could influence. And then once you know you have, it drove me to start working more with people and for people on a clientele service to know, like, I can help a lot of people just from my experience. You know, and it got to that, to where I became like, that's when I got with Runaway Love and, you know what I'm saying, Bird and all these other entities that, you know what I'm saying, we kind of gravitated and building each other up off of shit, motivation. It was one of them things where I got a chance to see certain people do shit that was impossible to, like, what my upbringing was. You know what? And this is real shit. I went to jail. It was 2012, did some dumbass shit, got caught up with a gun, right? And it wasn't, I ain't trying to make it like it wasn't no big deal, but it was something that I knew I was gonna make it out of. Like, I didn't have no prior felonies, you know what I'm saying? So I knew I was gonna come home. But it was something that let me know, like, I'm finna get probation. So in this time, you need to focus on getting your blessings. Like, so I started, like, extending my hand. When I got put on probation, I had, my grandma had a stroke, and I took over her house. And her house that's hot block. I was going into 18.
Okay.
I just graduated. I'm freshly into getting a house, learning about ownership. I'm paying the mortgage. We figuring this shit out. We about to go into Texas.
And that's when Hot Block started.
Yup.
As in the recording studio.
As in the recording studio. Yep. So to finance it, I was like, you know what? I'm really good at engineering myself. Let me start. Really, people start asking me more. You know what I'm saying? But I had so much time. I'm on probation.
And did
Come
you
on
always
through.
engineer yourself?
No. Man. It was one of them things where I learned as I went. I used to be with my partner Preem, dog. He was like the first big brother of us. You know what I'm saying? To like really show you the way. And he would record us, but he would let us record him. And so I knew how to record. I just didn't understand plugins. And then he broke down the basic plugins, and that changed my life. Like channel strip, EQ, compression, reverb, like all of the basic things that everything have on presets. He showed me what those things, what they do. And I was like, damn. And granted, we wasn't the coldest, because Preem would mix something and go take it to somebody that was better. And that got me into learning how to perfect it, learn about the qualities of it, frequencies and shit. But getting into that, I was like, you know, I'm about to just take a test run. We had a studio with my partner Flame, where all the shit we did with Team CC, during that time, we was recording ourselves. So we was stealing his brother, Brainchild, plugins and shit, because he had like industry plugins and presets. We was taking them bitches and setting them, but we didn't know what they do. They just clear your shit. So one day I just broke them all down, each plugin. And that's how I started getting into it. But as soon as I got over there at the crib, bro, I just opened up shop for the studio, because I already had like 5 people like, yo, when you gonna be recording? You know, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, man. $40 an hour, bro. $40 a song. Come on out. Fuck it. And it was like, now I got 7 people all waiting to record in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? This is every single day. And the street was Hopkins, so it got hot. They like hot block.
When did you get really involved with the radio station? What time period, what age were you, and how did you get involved?
So I always was real close with DJ BJ. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And DJ BJ had a real close relationship with Mavica, my team. And I went on a high school tour. And I remember I had a show at Southfield. And them fans was going crazy, bro. And it was a girl, and she came to me straight up like, I'm your biggest fan, straight up. Like, it was crazy. BJ DJ did set. He did like 4 or 5 of the shows that I had set up for the high school tour. And, you know, just getting to know him, and we all working with the same people, he already seen where my work ethic and where my quality was, to where once he had the Cypher Show idea, he pitched it to me. and he invited me and my manager to come through. And the first day I came, he announced me as a core artist, like you in the core.
For the what cypher?
So the core, the Friday Night Cypher is a cypher show in Detroit. It's been well known, which actually had a lot to do with Big Sean's career. That's how Kanye met him at the radio station for the Friday Night Cypher. They stopped it. BJ came on the radio station and brought it back. You know what I'm saying? And when he brought it back, he started finding all his favorites and the city's favorites to like tap in and make them core artists, which makes you one of the members that gets on the radio no matter what, and people have to battle you for your slot. So I was one of the first people to be a part of that after the reign of the situation with Big Sean and them shutting the Friday Night Cypher down and revamping it, and it became our thing. Then we dropped a project, you know what I'm saying, called the Friday Night Cypher, well, Core Life for Life. So we were the core, you know. It wasn't no core when Big Sean was doing it. It was all my brothers though, man. We lost a lot of people that was a part of that, man. It became like a real brotherhood, man.
Your favorite history of Inkster, where that starts?
You know, I'm a real Inkstorian. You know what I'm saying? Like, that. I need to patent that. I'm an Inkstorian for real, man. And shout outs to this author from Inkster, Robert Turley. He's an amazing guy. And I got a chance to sit down with him from our past mayor, Pat Wimberly, another amazing dude. And he sat us down with this guy, and I found out this guy for years was doing tours in our neighborhood, man. And I always heard that like Inkster was like a birthplace for Motown music. I never understood it, but I would see it on the signs, right? And as I got older, I started like reading more about this author's book where he took all of these reports, documentations, legal paperwork, and information about the history of Inkster and created an entire book about like a memoir of all of Inkster's history. And that's when I got fascinated with it. Finding out Stevie Wonder lived in Inkster, finding out the Motown. This is a fun fact right here, but Motown was actually the first artists of Motown were founded at Inkster High in a talent show. That was the Marvelettes. You know, they made Mr. Postman, and that was Inkster's first musicians to come out of there, and that was Motown's first single. You know what I'm saying? First record to ever put out. So it's a lot of history there, man. A lot of history. Even more than that, like we got Malcolm X. Malcolm X lived in Inkster for years. He paroled there. You know, he came from prison and took his shahada and joined Islam incarcerated and came home and paroled as Malcolm X for the first time in Inkster. So the first people heard of him was as Malcolm X was Inkster. So yeah.
Why do you think that's not talked about as much? Why is that not such a known fact?
Man, growing up, people used to tell me Inkster was cursed, but I think it's more so like the places that don't get highlighted for economic reasons. Inkster is a 6-mile radius that covers all the rest of the barriers of the cities around that area, you know what I'm saying, in that district, but it's the only area that doesn't have all of the same, you know what I'm saying, laws and the same taxes and, you know, everything. It's the hood, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, back in the day, Inkster was like a urban, well-known black community that a lot of people own. The first supermarket in, the first black-owned supermarket in America was in Inkster.
In America?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, the Allen store. You know what I'm saying? You can look that up.
Around?
It's not, no. It's still a store. It's still a store, yep. It's still it's like a market, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't how it was.
So, you know, Malcolm X, Stevie Wonder, you know.
Stevie Wonder had a wife named Sarita Jones. She lived on the block she lived on Hot Block.
But I know there's more to the story, right?
Oh yeah. So you know, in Inkster, Inkster was created by abolitionists named Robert Inkster, and I believe in my own studies from the history, he found a way to create more of a housing for black people and certain communities where people could live comfortably, because we have certain areas still to this day that are like rural historical areas for black people's history and how they lived, you know what I'm saying? But even fast forward, it's an abundance of hidden gems there that I feel like don't get notified because there's nobody to actually take advantage of what's necessary for the people of Inkster. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally nobody to speak up, you know what I'm saying?
So there's a lot going on from Inkster that people just assume is from Detroit.
People want the swag, they want the slang, they want the code, they want the understanding as far as the cultural side of things, rather than just the street shit, you know what I'm saying? That kind of fuck up the impact for where we can go when it come down to something positive. Inkster got that. Like, we always had that, man. It's just time, and certain entities have to be amplified for that to be something, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you heard Detroit, before you knew about a T Grizzly, you can go around the world, you gonna hear about an Eminem. That don't mean everybody sounded like him, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just need that amplified figure to kind of get bigger than our means for people to know about us, because we wasn't even on the real map, like the real actual map. We wasn't even on the map, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even consider Inkster as a city for years, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of fight that we still got to put up with just being a city. But even more than that, shit getting looked at different now, you know? So it's no telling where we can be, but I got a lot of faith in the turnaround for a lot of these cities that got hidden talents like a motherfucker, man, because I work with them. And it's some heat through here, man, and it's just not getting that time, you know what I'm saying?
Why do they say the Inkster's cursed?
You know, this is crazy, but I heard this when I was younger, man. You know, they call Inkster the Crooked Eye. That's like the nickname. Like how they call it Dirty D's, Detroit Dirty Glove. Detroit's the Dirty Glove. Inkster is the Crooked Eye. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying? This is way before I was born. And I used to be like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucked up. Like, when people hear the name, they gonna expect you to be crooked. Like, that's fucked up. I never did no crooked shit. Fast forward, I just say, I feel like the reason people say, and this is just what I've been told growing up. My grandma used to say this too, but the land was cursed. You know what I'm saying? From a lot of fucked up shit that happened prior to Inkster being a profound city. Inkster was actually way bigger than its jurisdiction. Like Waynes, Taylor, Westland, Garden City.
It borders all of them.
All of them had, like, they got a piece of Inkster right now. They bought land that was a part of Inkster. Well, it was a part of Inkster that had this motherfucking this asylum. And before it was an asylum, it was a poorhouse. It was Eloise. Eloise is an asylum that's very well known in the neighborhood as a possessed land that just turned into this haunted attraction out of fucking nowhere, and you won't probably catch too many people from our area, like from Inkster, to go in that bitch, because we all speak about it the same way, man. But it's like a folklore, man, where they talk about all of these people being like tortured in the craziest way, bro. And long term, the building set fire. Thousands and thousands of people died, but thousands of people were already hidden under the ground, because you could get paid to take a homeless person or a crackhead there to go get seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get treated. And they would keep you. You would never be seen again.
Like, they would get paid to take homeless people in.
You $100 to come bring in somebody in to be treated or like tested.
Yeah.
So they would do like crazy tests on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And it's even a movie about this shit too, called Eloise. When you go there and you see all these buildings, bro, that's just boarded up, just imagine, like, at one point they was all owned by the people that lived there, and they was like decked out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember that shit, you know? Like, now we don't, it's like a ghost town.
You have a vision for it coming back?
Absolutely, and I'm working on it as we speak, man. I put a lot of attention into the youth. Excuse me. I feel like the best thing we can do is lead by example and put some more investment into it, man. I started doing the summer festivals out there. That was like, we always had a summer festival every year where everybody in Inkster would come together and nobody would get into it. It would be
no fights, nobody would die. It'd be a big ass day where the community get together, we eat food, thousands of people, 400 vendors. So they asked me to do a hip hop night, and this was like full argument in the council, like no, it's gonna be some bullshit. And I basically was granted access to control, curate, and do all of the sound, and do all of the actual artist lineup. Where prior to doing the Summerfest, I was helping so many youngins, man, and squashing a lot of beefs, getting involved with showing people the other way, you know what I'm saying, like, and giving motherfuckers something else to do. Hot Block was like a safe haven. Like, you could come there and no matter what you into, you're not gonna get into shit. Nobody gonna bring no drama over there. Like, it's the peaceful. I treat my studio like the barbershop. So that kind of carried a name for a long time on how people seen me as an artist outside of just the shit I did for myself.
As an engineer, what's some of the most important advice that you can give artists that are trying to be successful in 2024?
I say the one thing that most people don't tell you, that I tell my artists and my clients, is to stay open-minded to how you hear your work versus how people hear your work, because we'll be our heaviest critics. Come prepared and trust the process to where you do your job and you can trust that I'll do mine. Most of the time I have artists come in, motherfuckers don't know what they want to do, so I'm putting a lot of attention to helping them figure that out, which if you know what you want to do, I can help you strengthen what you're trying to do. And yeah, stay open-minded. Times change every day where we try and sound like somebody, and in reality, if you be yourself and have fun with the shit, we probably gonna make the greatest shit ever.
So what do you think has taken you farther in the music industry? Being an artist or being an engineer?
Ooh, I like that question. I would say it's neck and neck. But I'm still weighing on my artistry, because I had so much happen to me as an artist, you know what I'm saying? I've covered a lot of ground as an engineer, but I signed contracts as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I can say this, I've invested more, but I've made more off being an engineer, you know what I'm saying? Because, and my mind state jumped into clientele service. Like, that's another thing you don't do as an artist. Like, you think about your fans, and in reality, don't nobody fucking know you yet. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you don't tap into just considering how the people in front of you like shit, not like your shit, but like shit, you will work differently. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of changed. Engineering changed my artistry. Like, getting into engineering changed how I record, how I work as an artist, and what I'm listening and looking for in my own music. Like, completely. I'm like, oh no, that's boring. Oh no, that's too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could do this sound too much, like I go somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that engineers deserve splits on records like producers do?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I believe we do. I believe engineers deserve credits. I just believe it's all worked out as far as whatever that agreement arrangement is, because I don't like to really have the responsibility of the artist once they leave the record. So, like, granted, I'm gonna come back and do a radio version, master, whatever you want to do with the record, but I love for artists to be responsible for their shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like as far as the appropriate business goes, if you working with a management, hell yeah, y'all already doing splits. Why not break me off a little percentage of that motherfucker? Cause we make the song. We make the song, bro. You could be hands-on with the record, like where I got records that I'm like, yo, say it like this. Yo, like my opinion counts in that sense to where he wants to know we're working on the record together. That, I feel like that requires a certain split where we need to make that make sense if you are already established and we can go somewhere with that. But man, I don't know, man. I feel like to be an engineer, you gotta really love what you do more than everybody, dog.
If you got something that you want to tell your fans before we wrap up.
Come get your sessions. Book with us today. Book with us now. Don't waste our fucking time. Progress and process, like I always say. King Lynxx.